That's right. And it's Friday. So, yeah, I'm coming at you a little early so we can talk about this coup part two. Oh, yeah. But first, I got to make sure that I got myself a notification. Bam! There it is. Uh-huh. But the question remains, did you get you a notification? Wait a minute. Why can't I click on my own okay, all right. I think I got it. So now all I have to do now is just wait for the cavalry to come in. Hopefully notifications are going out and you guys are able to get it. Got me a commercial going on. So we got 20 people. Oh shoot, look at that. Oh, somebody said, yeah, I did. That's what I'm talking about. You good. PA. Yeah, that's what I'm talking. You right next door. A stone throw away. Loud and clear, Kev. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right. So now that I know that the internets and stuff is working, we getting people coming in from New York. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Where else? Caught you live? Yeah, sweet. Yeah, you might not get a notification, unfortunately. So you got to make sure you turn your notifications on to all so you'll get them, hopefully. And that's pushing it. All right, we got Arkansas, Texas. Yeah. Texas in the house. All right, now, Georgia. Missouri, Southwest Missouri. Yeah, see, look at that, man. We got a little reach. We'd have even more reach if YouTube would get off my back. And you guys can help me with that. But first, I got to get loose so I can get busy. Especially after what we about to watch. Real gorilla. There's some kings in the building. Gorillas in here. Yeah, man. See, not everybody's a real gorilla. Some people, they're just spider monkeys. Stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Talk a good game, but when it comes down to it, they don't beat their chest. See, so, yeah. Now, as you can see, is that song somewhere? Yeah, actually, it's a song called Silverback Swag by a young man named Priceless. And I think he spells it kind of like P-R-Y. Actually, he's one of my best friend's brother. Wrote the song a long time ago. And I just love that song. It's actually a little slower than I had to speed it up because of copyright and all that mess. But nonetheless, you can look it up. It's called Silverback Swag by Priceless. Now, let's go ahead and cover a couple things before we get into the nitty gritty, what we're going to be talking about tonight. Yeah, there's a Kevin's Corner store right here on the screen. You can go ahead and click on the links below each video to explore the store. And that phone number up there, 330-974-4607, is the number you can text Kevin. You text MAGA to that number, and hopefully, just in case they disappear me here on the internet, we'll be able to at least stay connected somehow. And then finally, you want to support the channel and other means, you can do it through my Cash App, my PayPal link. The links are below each video. Or you can participate in the super chat. But if you wanted to get to me directly, then the PayPal link and the Cash App is where it's at. And then finally, let's see. Oh, subscribe to my alternative channel. Now, somebody said, Jake, fake crapper should be fired. Absolutely. I was going to try to fit that in, but we got two subjects we want to focus on, so we don't be here all day long. I know y'all love me and all, but I don't want to be all night long, all night. Yeah, we don't want to go Lionel Richie on us. Well, my friends, the time has come. Y'all be like, yeah, time better hurry up and come. You've been talking for 3 hours. So we don't want to do that. So I'll save that possibly for tomorrow, because we don't want to skip over fake crapper and all of that stuff that's going on with that so-called pipe bomber. I got some questions about the pipe bomber. Now, let's get to what we're going to be talking about today. And we got to go back out to Little Somalia once more, okay? Because, see, there's a lot of people out there. They're running interference for the Somalians that ripped off American citizens and their tax dollars. They're running interference for. They're more focused on Donald Trump's harsh words that he said about Ilhan Omar and the Somalia population out there. And so we want to go ahead and cover a couple things, and maybe we can shed some light on why Trump feels the way he feels, the frustration that any hardworking American should feel when you find out stuff like this. So let's get into it.
Omar is garbage.
Oh, I love it. You'll never have another Trump. Tells it exactly like it is. Came from the gut. Ilhan Omar is garbage. Okay, so now here she is, y'all. She done went to the TV networks and stuff, y'all. And they just bring her on so that she could plead her case for the innocent Somalians that they're gentle, willing creatures out there.
You've already touched on this, but I do want to ask you a follow-up on the character and the contributions of your community, because the president keeps villainizing your community, dismisses contribution of immigrants in this country. What do you want people to know?
Now, her people probably is like, don't go out there and sound crazy and be offensive. Don't be the real you. Go out there and try to act like you're humble. You're just very gentle, and you're just loving and warm. Because see, you don't want to give people the impression of, she comes across nasty, arrogant, conceited, and Trump might be on to something. See, so they want to soften her image up so she can plead the case of these Somalians out there, and don't want to, she's trying to change the perception. So here she is now trying to be all nice and tell us what the Somalian community is like.
About the Somali community in your home state.
I mean, I would like them to know that we are the most generous people. We are one of the most friendliest communities.
And perhaps many of them are one of the most corrupt communities. So I'm just saying. I mean, a lot of them come from a corrupt country that, it is doggy dog. So now here she is being an advocate, trying to soften it up. That we're one of the most loving communities, one of the most welcoming communities.
Again, it is why we made Minnesota home, because it fits.
Because it's very corrupt and allowed y'all to beat the system.
With our character, Minnesota nice is not.
Yeah, corrupt. Allowed y'all to beat the system. Now, I want to put my disclaimer out there. Not all Somalians are corrupt, but I'm just saying, we have evidence that a large portion of them brought that attribute from Somalia right up there to Minnesota. And all it takes is you to get yourself a raggedy governor, a woke governor, and a woke prosecutor. And hey, some corruption could go on up there. Y'all might have picked the right one, baby.
Just something we say, something that is true.
Her friends are garbage.
There's Trump again. Her friends are garbage. So that's true. Something that is true. So let's go ahead and see some of the nice people up there.
I would like them to know that we are the most generous people. We are one of the most friendliest communities. Again, it is why we made Minnesota home, because it fits with our character. Minnesota nice is not just something we say, something that is true.
Wow. Now, see, I know she's a raggedy, corrupt politician herself, but there comes a point where you got to do some, assessment, some self-evaluation. You got to be honest. I own some of the behaviors of the Black community that I see, and I call it out. If it's negative, I'll call it out. If it's a trend or a characteristic or attribute that a lot of Black people, have, I'm not, going to sit back and say, well, all Black people are this, all Black. I go, no, we got our problems. We got our problems. Now, we got a lot of good ones. Majority, I would say, is good. But boy, when you find a group of bad ones, oh, man, they make the whole family look bad, man. See, but she's not able to do that. She is not able to even recognize that corruption. See, it's not just a few of these people. It ain't like they just stole, $100, $200, not even $200,000. They were knee deep in corruption to where they were able to get over $1 billion.
I'm the captain. I'm the captain.
That's what they up there. That's what they up there.
You said you just wanted money.
I am the captain.
You said this was just business. Is this business? Is this how you do business?
Yeah, that is.
Mind your own damn business.
Yeah, I bet you he's saying that right now. He want us to get all out of his business. You see Homer Simpson head right there? You see Elmer Fudd? That dude don't want us up in that business. He don't want us coming up there sniffing around. See, so let's continue because Ilhan Omar says that they're the most kind people.
Congresswoman, do you agree with President Trump's assumption that you married your brother to get citizenship?
Oh, now why ain't nobody in the media asking her that when she comes on the show? They just want to talk about Trump saying bad things about her. They want to say Donald Trump has said that you are garbage and yeah, nobody wants to ask her that question. So she goes on these friendly networks and she knows they're bringing her on the network for cleanup. We're going to give you the platform to go ahead and call Trump racist and try to change the perception of what happened. Nobody starts off, they missed that part of what Trump said. They want to talk about the part where he calls her garbage, but they don't want to talk about the part when he says, I heard she married her brother. Nobody wants to say, you know what? Trump's been saying this. Is it true that you married your brother for citizenship? That's all they got to do. But no, they want to stay far away from that question. So now this street reporter right here basically asked her, is that true? Did you marry your brother?
Have you begun packing your bags for Somalia yet?
You're fired. Get out of here.
Get her at
Hey, Congresswoman
I'm not
Omar?
going anywhere.
What?
You're not?
No, don't waste your energy on me.
Do you have a message for President
I will
Trump?
be here probably longer than Trump.
Wait, do you have a message for
Since
President
I
Trump?
am like a quarter of his age.
Do you have anything else you'd like to?
Now that's the real Ilhan Omar coming out. Yeah, you hear her? Don't waste your arrogant. And all it would take is for them to do a simple investigation on whether or not she defrauded the immigration policies by marrying her brother. And then we could finally say bye-bye to Ilhan Omar. She could take her white devil husband that she married and take him back to Somalia, where he probably would not fit in, and they probably would be calling him the white devil and probably threatening his life, and take all their millions with them so that the Somalian folks over there can figure out a way to get their millions out of them. See, now, I bet you if they had to leave our country, they wouldn't go to Somalia. Yeah, she would take her white devil husband and all the millions somehow she made and go to some very nice, safe, woke country that would embrace them. And then they'll stay over there complaining about how Trump kicked them out and he's a racist.
To say
He's
to
an
him?
old man losing his mind. I don't know why.
Oh,
he's
man,
obsessed
losing
with
his
me.
mind.
Interesting. Well, thank you, Congresswoman.
And you don't know why he's obsessed with you. First of all, he's not obsessed with you. You bring all that attention on your raggedy self. All of it. Every Democrat that ends up in the scope of Trump brought it on themselves. Okay? Yeah, you've been running around our country for the last 8 years, wreaking havoc, talking trash, just talking about how horrible our country is. And then we find out that not only is there a lot of corruption up there amongst your folks, but now we're going to find out you might have played a part in it too.
Yeah, I hope he gets help.
First of all, federal prosecutors say 59 people have been investigated in these schemes so far.
Now you see fake. You see fake crapper, the one that, if you haven't heard yet, started off talking about that pipe bomber that has finally been caught, I guess. And said he was a white man. And then we saw the picture and he's straight up a brother. But nonetheless, fake brings her on and he asks her a question and don't even follow up or nothing. Watch this.
Americans at large stole tens of billions of forms of aid during the pandemic all over the country. Minnesota's fraud.
All over the country. You see, already running interference for her. There's a high concentration of corruption right there. But you want to spread it out. You want to go ahead and distribute all of the corruption across the country, all over the country. No. Nobody has made the dent in corruption like that small group of people up there in Little Somalia. But you want to go ahead and downplay that because you don't want them to be a target. You don't want Trump to go up there. You want to make Trump appear to be racist and biased and want these people out all over the country. Notice how they always distribute the blame. When, illegal immigrants commit crimes or murders, then they want to go ahead and say, Americans all over the place. Everybody commits these things. And I'm going, y'all always are trying to distribute the blame all over the place so nobody focus on the problem that didn't have to exist. So now, what he's saying is, give me a softball response that I'm not going to follow up and ask any questions about. Then we can get into demonizing Trump.
Scandal stands out, according to federal auditors. What are you hearing from investigators right now?
Well, I've been following the cases closely as they've gone through the courts, and we know that there are more indictments possibly coming. I think that number might go up to 73 is what I'm hearing.
Okay. Can you share that?
Huh? Yeah, that you can't ask a question like, hey, why is it that these 80, 70, 80 people are able to rip you off and all of your taxpayers with billions? No other group around the country has those type of stats. I mean, they're leading the league in corruption. And Fake is trying to go ahead and reference that all around. I'm going, show me another group of people who were able to pull that heist off. You ain't gonna fall and say, what is it about the Somalia community up there that allowed them to pull this off? Okay, but now watch her go ahead and give another explanation of why they had to do it.
Any light on why the fraud got so out of control in Minnesota?
Good question.
I think what happened is that, when you have these kind of new programs that are designed to help people, you're oftentimes relying on third parties to be able to facilitate.
That's what it is.
And I just think that a lot of the COVID programs that were set up, they were set up so quickly that a lot of the guardrails did not get created.
Well, that sums it all up. It has nothing to do with the character of all of those people taking advantage of it, though, right? See, if you guys didn't monitor us and make sure we didn't break the law, if you guys would have babysat us because you can't trust our character, you can't trust our motives, you can't trust our behavior, so y'all had to go ahead and Somalia proof it. That's what that need to happen, because they don't have self-regulations. That's what you're telling me. I forgot to lock my door. My neighbor said, "Hey man, I wouldn't have had to break in if you wouldn't have left the door open." You understand? Now look, you done made me commit crimes. See, she's not addressing why is it that a high concentration of people from Somalia felt comfortable doing this? Why did they go overboard? Nobody stopped and said, guys, maybe we need to pump the brakes. We're going to send off a lot of red flags. We're already at like what? The 800 million? Maybe we should keep it under a bill. They might not notice. But these folks was like, man, you know what? We got Tampon Tim on the wheels of steel. We got Raggedy Keith Ellison, and then we got her as an advocate. We might as well go hard in the paint while we can. And it is concentrated right there with a whole bunch of Somalians. Okay, when you do statistics, why is it that that group of people got this much of the corruption? And then you're trying to go at what there was one guy in New Hampshire, he took $100, and I mean, everybody's doing it. Well, they mastered it. And so instead of addressing their character flaw, instead of addressing what is it about that culture that felt comfortable doing this, instead of addressing that, she blames the system. It ain't their fault. They just can't control themselves if you guys don't put things in place to stop them from committing crimes. Now, I don't want to live around a group of people who that's the order. You're like, dude, these folks in my neighborhood, I need to build a fence, electric fence, surveillance, some minefields out there in my grass to keep them from coming in my house. That's what I got to do. Because hey, look, if I get caught slipping, they're going to rob me. They're going to come in. I don't want to have to live like that. I want to trust that everybody goes by the honor system. But no, not her. She blames it on the system.
Now, obviously, whatever the ethnic group, the actions of a few dozen should not impugn an entire community of thousands of people.
There you go. Whatever the actions are. You don't want to focus on why is it, though, that it is confined and concentrated with the Somalia population. So now what Fake is trying to do is, of course, instead of addressing what is it about that population, what is it about the culture that made them all jump on board with this, it was a feeding frenzy. Instead of asking those questions, Fake wants to go ahead and say, let's be woke. Let's make sure that there's no judgment and all this stuff. And granted, like I said, it ain't you unless it's you. But hey, now that y'all done brought that attention and that heat up there in Minnesota, blame all of those Somalians that ripped off the government. Blame them. Don't get mad when ICE and Tom Holman comes up there and Trump says something. Yeah, if you was at that, the Somali population is really kind and gentle at that. If they had good moral character, they would be coming out denouncing all of those folks in that corruption. They should be like, man, we demand justice. Hey, they might be Somalian and all, but they need to go to jail. Yeah, that's what we should be hearing coming out of all of the rest of them that you don't want to demonize. Yeah, because I know me, as much as I love black folks, when they commit crimes, I'm going, that brother needs to go to jail. I mean, hey, I love the brothers and all, but you can't be out there shooting folks. You got to go to jail. It's that simple. So now let's continue, though, because they're definitely trying to help her out.
And yes, folks have done, horrible things, and people have committed crimes, but we should not be pointing the entire community in one brush.
There you go. Get off our back. That's the message. Now, this guy's a spokesman. He's on some council up there and stuff like that. He's trying to go ahead and imply that you guys are stereotyping us, and this right here is nothing more than profiling, and there's some racism. I'm sure some racism is about to get sprinkled in somewhere. But what he forgot is that he's wearing that hospital robe and his butt is wide out. Look at this guy, same guy. We shouldn't be painting them with the...
Heard that MDE took this step to really stop feeding the kids in the middle of pandemic. My office had to do something.
In the video, Osmond tells the room how he arranged a call with the MDE commissioner about their attempts to stop new meal sites.
Hello.
But I'm one of those people that push back and call it what it is, which is racist tactics. I told her.
There it is. There it is. Blam. Always. Well, I call it what it is. It's a racist tactics. Because they was questioning whether they should release all these funds for you guys to feed the kids. Feed the kids. Now we find out what happened. And I'm saying maybe they were right. Maybe it wasn't racism. Maybe it was righteousm. There it is. I'm righteous. I'm righteous. I'm going, something in me. My spidey senses are tingling. But now this same guy who called it racist, look at this.
Sir, this money is actually from the federal. Your job is to distribute fairly to the communities that deserve.
At the time he delivered this speech, Osmond's wife, Ilo Amba, was in the middle of claiming to run a meal site of her own.
Oh, what? Well, let's check out her site. I'm sure she was up there with her hijab. Come on in, kids. Everybody sit around the table. Crisscross applesauce. We got turkey. We got hamburgers. We got all kind of stuff. Ho-hos and Twinkies. I'm sure that's what she was doing, right?
In this small office in downtown Minneapolis that the Minnesota Attorney General in this civil complaint calls a fraudulent shell company.
What?
Public records show Amba's nonprofit Urban Advantage Services received $460,000 in reimbursements between February and November 2021.
What? The racist man? The man who just said, if y'all don't give us that money, it's because y'all racist. I'm calling it what it is. That guy right there who was just saying, don't paint us all with a bad brush and we all... Why isn't he arrested? Why? What? They let him go? They didn't pursue him? So him and his wife was like, we getting in on it too. Now, I'm pretty sure Ilhan knows about the system and the racket. I'm pretty sure Keith Ellison knows about the racket. And I'm pretty sure Tampon Tim knew about the racket. You know, you can't tell me over $1 billion racket was going on and you ain't know nothing about it. And you can't tell me this guy gonna let all those other Somalians make that money from taxpayers and the government without getting his hands in it. So now, one way or another, so now this guy should be investigated too. Why isn't he in jail? I don't understand.
The AG shut it down, citing participation in the meal fraud scheme. What's more, testimony and evidence in Bach's ongoing trial has shown Osmond and Amba signed over control of a different, dormant nonprofit they founded together called Stigma Free. Osmond writing to its new board, quote, I have seen growth during the time that I've served, and I'm confident you will continue to grow this amazing organization.
Amazing organization. So when he got busted scamming the system, he shut it down and then said, now I'm going and open up a nonprofit because I got to get some type of corruption going some other way. They blocked my path of corruption. So I'm going to open up this nonprofit and say, it's growing. It's growing. Let's go ahead and see how far that nonprofit grew.
In my absence. The men who took over Stigma Free are charged with using it immediately to rack up more than $13 million in meal fraud across the state.
What? Immediately? You mean to tell me they didn't even... Man, there's some corruption going on up there. Immediately. So soon as they went and signed the paper, all right, let's get some the embezzlement going. Let's get some fraud and corruption going. Immediately. Wow. So isn't it odd, though, that these people are all kind of in that circle? It seems like they know a lot of people and they connected with a lot of people who are involved in corruption, but they don't know nothing about it, though, right? They don't know nothing about it. And then they bring this guy. See, this is what the fake news is about. Instead of being upset about these people ripping off the country, they're out here trying to run interference. And they brought on one of my most despicable people that they bring on. Ooh, I tell you, he's another one I want to get in the octagon on. So now you know what he's there for. You know what he's there for, y'all. Tell us about Trump and all of his racism.
This is the first woman of color ever elected to represent her state in Congress.
Oh, first woman of color ever.
One of only 3 Muslim members of Congress serving right now.
Then she should be a better representative. That's what she should be. She shouldn't make all of the Somalian population look bad. Okay? She shouldn't make us have to question her loyalty to the country. Now, if you think I'm lying, then I'm flying. Because see, that lady right there had just told us. She said she's one of the first ever the women of color to represent her district in our country. So let's see how much she represents our country. See what this guy right here has to say as he's honoring Ilhan Omar. Omar? What? Okay. What he's saying? He says, who has, I can't see it backwards. Says who something that, okay, wait, the chat's in the way. Who has written the name Somalia with her golden pen, not America. Yeah, they cheer for that. Oh, the interest of Ilhan. Now, y'all ready? Because remember, she represents America. What? What? She don't have what? It says it's not the interest of Minnesota? Well, wait a minute. We just heard she's the first the woman of color and the Ethiopia, the Muslim, all that stuff. And she don't even represent Minnesota? Well, who does she represent then? Wait a minute. Okay, now wait a minute. It says, nor is it the interest of the American people. Huh. Maybe Trump was on to something when he said, I don't even know if these people should be allowed to even be in our government. I mean, she don't represent us. I mean, look at her. You see her big face right there next to that guy as he is telling all of those Somalians that she don't represent Minnesota. She don't represent America. She represents who? The people of what? Oh, there it is. The interest of Ilhan Omar is of the Somalian people. How about then you go back to Somalia and actually run for something and, you probably wouldn't be allowed, or you'd probably be mugged as a woman. You probably wouldn't be able to do that in Somalia. But now, over here, she's pretending to represent the American people, but I guess her people's perception of it is, not her. She don't represent anybody but Somalia. So what are you doing in the American government? That's what I'm saying. But hey, let's continue. Look, she ain't say nothing. So instead of showing that clip, you want to talk her up and give this guy some platforms to say these things.
I should also point out that in the last election, she was given that office by more than 75% of the people who voted.
All right, watch this.
The president has attacked e-initiatives. He's cut refugee admissions while prioritizing South Afrikaners.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, he's doing that because of racism. Now, wait, let me understand. They're actually being threatened and killed, and that's a real genocide. But all these other people who's coming here for a better life so they can beat our system, I don't see that comparison. That's a real reason to get some type of citizenship when you're going, they might come in here and hack me up. They might come in here and kill me to take my land. I'll listen to you. But when you're like, all right, I'm coming for climate change and the gang violence, they ain't got nothing to do with us. Ain't got nothing to do with us. But here she is now trying to insert some racism. No facts, no reason why Trump is doing that for them. But no, you want to insinuate that he's doing that just because they're white.
He denies, of course, that some American citizens were arrested by ICE because of the color of their skin. The statistics would suggest otherwise.
Yeah, the statistics would suggest otherwise. You know why? Because there's a large population of people of color that came into our country illegally. I mean, you can't put that together. That's my thing. I mean, you got to play the odds. It's like when y'all get mad about there's a large portion of young black men being arrested, and I'm going because there's a large portion of them committing crimes. You know, making a correlation. We're supposed to overlook that. We're supposed to say, you know what? See, because we don't want to, fall into the stereotype of we're going after people of color. We're going to leave them all. Allow them to go ahead and act a fool and do whatever with no accountability because we don't want to appear racist. And I'm saying, if the shoe fits, wear it. So now here she is trying to quote the statistics, but she don't want to talk about the statistics of all of these people from around the globe. The majority of them are coming from countries of color. So we got a whole bunch of folks to sift through of color. And you talk about statistics and stuff don't show why. Unreal. What else?
Where is this going? This is only day, I think it's 317 of his presidency.
Here we go. Here we go. Where's this going? This is only day. And I'm going, yeah. And we're getting things done.
I mean, we have to be honest. Trump's immigration policy is a white nationalist agenda. It's part of a white nationalist agenda.
Did y'all not know? Did y'all not know that was coming? Anytime you see softcore, beta male, soul brother number one, Eddie, whatever, always lead in on racism. He's the guy they tag in for racism. All right, we need some racism, the race baiting. Let's get Eddie in here. Let's get him here. You know what to do, Eddie. You know why we brought you on.
I know people get upset with that, but it's true. I think we need to be very, very clear that the idea is to make America white again. This is why I began with that nationalist conservatism movement.
See that? Still up to the same old games. At this point, man, I don't give a darn about no racism. I hate to say it. I mean, like I said, it's a shame that they done made black folks get racism fatigue. I'm sitting there going, man. So let me understand. There's a white supremacist agenda. All right, let's go ahead and go through it.
Right, because there's a belief that social cohesion isn't possible if you have immigration from all of these different groups. Now, mind you,
true, and they don't assimilate. See, what you are failing to focus on and point out, Eddie, is that we're not talking about race. We're talking about shared cultural values, you big dummy. Yeah, you bring folks in here. Why do you think the Tower of Babel fell? At one point, they were all speaking the same language, and they couldn't be stopped. They building that bad boy right on up to the heaven. God said, I got to do something to shake up things. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show our future Democrats an example of what happens when you go ahead and bring in a whole bunch of people without any shared values or culture. Change their language, and guess what they did? Oh, I'm about to get out of here. I don't know what this dude's talking about. But according to Eddie, it's all based on race.
We're talking about American citizens for the most part in this instance.
For the most part. However, you failed to mention that a large portion of those Somalians, they came over here and got their citizenship based on fraud. Almost like 60% of them.
But there's this sense that the browning of America, that these demographic shifts have to be arrested. Now, the question we have to ask ourselves.
See, notice how he just jumped over illegal immigrants, people that shouldn't be in the country. It's just that there's a sense that the brown people need to be arrested. What do those brown people might have in common? What's the common factor? Are we just out there arresting brown people? Because if that's the case, Eddie, your raggedy race-baiting butt would be in jail right now. There it is. I mean, I don't fear getting arrested because I'm a person of color. I know I'm not an illegal immigrant, so I ain't got to worry about it. But see, once again, raggedy behind propagandist MS Now brought this guy on, and this lady's like, what's going on here? It's only day 300. Please tell us, give us some more racism.
It's not so much how do we defend Ilhan Omar from Trump's ridiculous rhetoric.
What is it?
But why are we stomaching or tolerating this from the President of the United States?
Because he's getting it done. Why are we, great acting. Yeah, because President Trump has identified a problem that many people are looking at going, yeah. And you know what? I probably would have never said nothing about this if Trump wouldn't have brought it up. And you know what's crazy? Is these Democrats get busted and all the attention goes to them. And then all of a sudden they're mad. Everything's racist. I'm saying, if y'all would stop being corrupt, if y'all would run your cities the proper way, you guys are the ones that bring the attention. Just like those Somalians brought that attention to the Somalian population. Democrats bring these issues to themselves. You harbor all of these illegal immigrants in your state. You give them benefits. You give them welfare. You allow them to vote. You give them licenses. And then they rip you off. You don't deal with it. It comes to the national stage. And all of a sudden, I thought, you know what? This is about white supremacy. How about you learn how to act? Always misplacing the blame, Eddie.
This is blatant racist language, Chris. How is it that this is...
So wait, calling somebody garbage is blatant racist language. Then that means when Joe Biden called all of us garbage, that was racist language? You didn't say that then. You don't say it's blatant racist language when you call all of us Nazis and, white supremacists and all that stuff. You don't say that then, Eddie? It ain't blatant racist language then?
Tolerable. That the President of the United States can describe American citizens as garbage.
You mean Biden? Just like Biden did? Only garbage I see is Trump supporters. Now, hey, I didn't flip out over that. I already know how the Democrats view us. But this was targeted, okay? When you guys are up there ripping off the government, taking advantage of Tampon and all of them, if you really did take advantage of them, you might have just been like, go ahead. Now, give me some donations too. But when you see a group of people who have bad intentions for our country, and we have been very, very kind, and they come from places where you go, dude, we could send you back to the SO-ran country, just like Ilhan Ilmar's big mouth. Yeah, you come over here, you take advantage of the system, you don't respect us, you don't respect the culture, you don't even feel like you're an American. Yeah, you're going to fall into the garbage category. But see, we got called garbage because we love the country. We got called garbage because we believe in make America great again. America first. They sitting there like, we are getting called garbage because we ripped off the taxpayers for over $1 billion.
If you call Americans deplorable, all hell breaks loose. But what is going on here? At the heart of it, I think, is this clear idea that America has to remain a white republic.
Isn't that? Has to remain a white republic. Can never stand on the merits of the argument. Always your motives are to keep America white. It's the only reason y'all got a problem with Joe Biden bringing in probably like 20 million illegal immigrants in 4 years. That's the only reason. It's just because you worry about losing your pecking order as white folks. Has nothing to do with all the violence, the drugs, the demographic change, the voting that you guys are going to use them for. It has nothing to do with that. It has something to do with just trying to make sure America stays white. Now, I haven't seen Trump mention anything about any American of color in a negative way where he's like, I want them out of here. If they're not contributing. Well, we were all born here. It doesn't matter. Now, let's start with the black folks, work our way down to the mulattoes, and then we finish it off with the Latinos. Unbelievable, this guy.
And if it's not, then we are going to hell. And so that came out of the mouth, I think, that vision came out of the mouth of the President of the United States. And we have to refuse that. And if we don't, what does that say about the country?
Yeah, it says we're healing. It says we're finding a way to get it done. We're getting folks out the country that don't love the country. But see, he's a little sensitive with what Trump says. Say it again, Trump.
Ilhan Omar is garbage.
Thank you. Yeah. Now, look.
American. We're American because you're an American, okay? Greatest country on the planet.
And so, to our Somali community.
Watch this.
Saman Shabka.
What?
Somali Aid Kunul.
What? Bro, what are you talking about?
I don't know.
Minnesota, Ganahan, Minneapolis, Waan, Kuji, Janila High.
What? Wan Kuji, a hill high. What is this he's speaking? Now, do you see? If I was Somalian, I would be offended. I'd be like, this dude is pandering his butt off. This is an MO of the Democrats. Remember, they was all trying to speak Spanish when they was running. This fool gets up there, thinks it's a good idea. I wonder how much he had to practice. I wonder how many Somalians they had to try to help him. All right. This is the way you pronounce that. So he's reading it. So basically, he doesn't speak Somalian, right? Yeah, he done wrote down Somalian words, and he's trying to read them. And he sounds like a fool, and he looks like a fool. You shouldn't have to do this in America. See, they make our point. I'm saying, so wait. You got enough Somalians that you claim been here for years and stuff, and they don't know how to speak English yet? You got to do a press conference to where you got to pander your butt, lower your butt to go ahead and be like, hi. Let's see what he says here.
Wan, coup, gereb, taganahan.
What?
I can't understand a word you said the whole time.
Maga Yegawa, Yarub Farid.
Y'all hear that? Maga Wegawa, Mahufuli. What the heck is he? This dude, Democrats, only Democrats do stuff like this. See, these are the gimmicks, the manipulation, all of that stuff. And I'm going, wow. He don't even realize how dumb he looks, how dumb he sounds. And he think I'm earning all types of points from the Somalians. They feel like I got their back. Same thing when George Floyd died. Went down there to that black rally, and those black people embarrassed him. Hey, you gonna defund the police? Huh? Are you gonna defund the police? I mean, I can't defund the police. Get out of here then. Get out of here. Then showed up at the dang on funeral on bending knee, boo-hooing at the casket of some man he never met. Man, I got family members who died, and I didn't do that. Shoot, when my mom passed away, I was 21. I kept it together. Sat there, my brother had a fit. He put on a show. He should have won an Oscar. Between him and my grandmother, that they were both competing for an Oscar. But no, not me. I had to go up there and get this dude from underneath the casket. I was like, if you don't get up, the smile, the fake smile. I was like, hey, he's okay. Get your tail up. You understand that? You're going to get up off this floor. You understand? Get your butt in the back room. You understand? You can't keep it together. He's okay. I'll take care of him. But not me. I kept it together. But not that guy. Over somebody he don't know. And now here he is, pandering to a whole bunch of people who should know English.
Jacob Fry, Dolka Magalada, Minneapolis.
Do you eat some peanut butter or something?
Daman Shabka.
Daman Shabka. Wow, he's really nailed that accent, y'all. Looks like he's taken some time to get the dialect and everything just right. Shaman Glaskna.
Somaliad, Kunul, Minnesota, Gar Ahan, Minneapolis. Waan Ku Jael, Nahai, Waan Ku Gerab.
Now, you think that makes me feel more sympathetic towards the Somalian population to see you have to come out here and pander to them like that? I mean, who do you think you're winning over besides all the woke folk already? I mean, you hear about these folks beating us over the head for over $1 billion. And then you see this fool come out here pandering to them and get mad at anybody who calls this out and then trying to make it seem like, leave us all alone. That this is only a couple people. And I'm going, if we wouldn't have caught it, how far would it have gone? How many Somalians would have said, nah, man, I'm good. Y'all go ahead, man. I ain't trying to benefit off that. If they would have opened it up to everybody in the Somali community, my question would be, how many of the folks would have said, nah, I can't roll with that. See, so here he is making our case of, hey, English, man, this is America. We speak American. And it ain't a language, it's an attitude.
Taganahan.
You sound like a dog with peanut butter on the roof of your mouth.
That's exactly what he sounds like. And then he goes and brings out his woke sheriff. How you gonna be in law enforcement and be this woke?
They're afraid to go to worship. They're not spending money at a lot of our immigrant businesses
like a politician.
in the city. And from a public safety perspective, the fear of people to cause the police is something that to call the police in a time of need is.
See, you up there big for nothing right there. Yeah, you're a sheriff for nothing. You might as well be Jacob Fry. And to be scared and they're not spending money. So you're more worried about that than the crime that was committed, right? Yeah, that's what it is. You should be calming the people by saying, hey, listen, if you are a law-abiding Somalian American citizen, you have nothing to worry about. If you've been embezzling and smuggling and scamming money, you might have a problem. Okay, that's what he should be saying. But instead, leave these people alone. Don't investigate. Don't find out what's going on. Don't see how many of the folks are here legally versus illegally. Don't even decipher whether they're coming up here to make sure everybody is a legal citizen versus illegal. You know, this guy right here, he's not even he's doing the same thing that the Democrats do. Try to make it seem like all people of color and all immigrants, whether you are American citizen or not, you should be scared. Yeah, you should be scared to go outside, go to worship. And I would be asking, but wait, what if I'm an American citizen? I just happen to be Somalian. You should be scared too. I'm pretty sure they'll deport you for no reason.
It's something that harms everyone.
Look at that.
We don't need that.
Sell out.
If people are able to prey on certain people in our community, to victimize them, to rob them.
Oh, like they robbed the American taxpayers? You ain't talking about that? Did you forget that quick? Nothing worse than a person in law enforcement that is woke. Nothing worse than that, man.
Because they think those folks are less likely to call the police. That makes everyone in the city less safe.
Oh, yeah, but them beating tax dollars for all that stuff, it makes everyone. And they use these stupid arguments constantly. The same arguments that are designed to protect illegal immigrants, to, make people feel sympathetic, to paint a picture of all of them scared and run. They never say, hey, look, man, if y'all are here legally, you got to go. And if you're not here legally, why are you scared? Nobody has to worry about this. If Democrats wouldn't start painting this narrative in this picture, American citizens of all races wouldn't even be paying attention to the deportation. See, if this wasn't a main priority to the dang on Democrats, because remember, nobody was flipping out back in the day when Clinton and Obama and all of them was deporting people. You didn't have all folks showing up, blocking ICE and all of that mess, because they didn't make it a big issue. And American citizens were walking around, doing what they do every day. They weren't sitting back worried about them getting deported because they're going, what they got to do with me? Oh, man, that dude right here, he was in the country illegally? Dang, that's messed up. But now all of a sudden, that's a problem. Leave these people alone. Don't even make an attempt to get all these illegal immigrants out. Because you know what? It makes them scared. It makes them not be willing to call the cops. All that bull crap that they try to use to roadblock us from doing what needs to be done to get these people out of here. And this guy is allowing himself to be used. A big fat prostitute in a uniform.
It does absolutely nothing for public safety.
Nothing for public safety.
So I just need to be clear, as our mayor has stated.
Yeah.
The Minneapolis Police Department
Here we go.
does not work with federal law enforcement for the purpose of conducting immigration enforcement.
No wonder they didn't show up when that ICE facility was getting overran by Antifians. Yeah, somebody came on that look, don't do anything. If it's down there at the ICE facility, don't show up. Yeah, people like you. You see these people, man, these folks basically have seceded from the union. I mean, sometimes I feel like we need to just go in there and clean house from the rooter to the tutor, because basically we got our own set of rules. Forget what federal law is talking about. We're going to Harvard these people. We're going to use our minions to block ICE from doing their job. All of that stuff that they're doing. Let them rip off, all our benefits and stuff like that. Put them on system. Breaking all kind of laws. Letting them get all kind of benefits. It's ridiculous. These liberal left cities, they shouldn't even be allowed to be defined as a sanctuary city. Shouldn't even be allowed to do that. I'm like, what is that? Huh? You're telling folks that are criminals, that have broken our law, if you get to our city, you got an advocate. We will protect you. And I'm going, that right there makes you complicit in violating federal laws. But somehow we live in loony land where this is allowed.
We don't provide information to federal immigration authorities. We don't ask people about their immigration status.
So people who are white are defrauding folks. People who are black are defrauding folks. Americans
y'all hear the referee, Abby? The people about the black, once again, distribute the blame. We don't want the heat on these Somalians who committed these crimes. So now let's go ahead and say y'all are just picking on them. Look at everybody else. Everybody's doing it. And now she's about to get an earful before we move on to our next topic.
Why is it that suddenly all Somali Americans don't deserve to be here because of individuals who committed crimes?
Now, I can tell you that because when you got a large community of Somalians, and then when you look at the vastness of the crime, and you say, what does this crime have in common? Well, a lot of Somalians committed it. Here you go. You're talking about fraud goes on. Yeah, individuals. Every once in a while, you'll get somebody who did something. Individual Americans. This was a cultural thing. It was a concerted effort. A large group of the same people that think the same way in the same community committed this crime. If you go and find me a white guy over here, he did something in 1985. Oh, he did this. Then you go find me a Mexican dude. You find me a black dude. Yes, we know Americans commit fraud and stuff like that, but it ain't concentrated like that. That's what brings the spotlight to this particular, situation. If you find me a whole bunch of Jewish people living in the same, community, and they somehow put their minds together to beat the system for $7 trillion, or black folks, or whatever. Yeah, I might start going, well, you know what? But when you start identifying individuals all over the place, okay, go after them. Plus, they're American citizens. But instead, we got a large group of people from the same community that committed this. And you're talking about why is it that?
Why not this guy who Trump just let off scot free?
He's saying that we all agree that the fraud story in Minnesota is bad, and yet the topic we're discussing is not the fraud scandal.
No.
It's Donald Trump talking about it.
Absolutely. That's exactly what they want to get the heat off of. Get it off the people. Let's talk about Trump, what he has said and stuff. Why is he picking on them? Because they black? Because they black? I mean, it's all other kind of Americans. Yeah, throw all the Americans under the bus so you can save the Somalians that committed this. And then this other guy comes in and said, and we don't want to talk about the governor who allowed this to happen.
This is why he won in 2016, and it's why he won in 2024, because instead of talking about the outrageous situation in which immigrants who were given the greatest privilege on earth, American citizenship, turned around and stole from the American people.
Ooh, now Abby got to break it up now. She got to interrupt because, see, now this woman's heating up. So she got to break it up. She's heating up, so I got to break it up. Yeah, you are more concerned about distributing the blame and why is it that... Now, see, this is the stuff that offends Americans because these people are never on our side. They're always trying to protect folks that we say, you know what? I might have not been thinking about this, but now it's in my face, and then I see you guys having the wrong reaction to it. Blaming us, trying to say everybody's you shouldn't be focused. And I'm going to see now you belittling my intelligence, and you're making me mad because I'm saying, okay, the difference is a lot of these people came over to our country from places that if they'd have stayed there, they wouldn't have been able to beat the system. They came over here, and instead of being, thankful and contributing to the system, they took away from the system. And they all got something in common. And your response is, what? Why is it? Why is it? And it's now you're making me a little more hostile towards these illegal immigrants. It's like when you see them giving them benefits up there in New York, you don't like the food? Oh, well, here's a food card. And you're going, my baby wants to eat too. Wait, y'all staying in the hotel? That's a nice hotel. Why can't I'm around the corner and my hallway smell like tinkle. There's graffiti on the doors, the elevator doors and stuff like that. There's drug users in there, but they get to stay in the hotel. Remember the baby formula shortage? But they brought that baby formula to all those illegal immigrants. These are the things that when we find out about it, we're going, I see, this stuff, it might have not been on my radar, but now I'm starting to see it in my face, and I'm seeing what you guys are doing, and I'm seeing how y'all trying to protect these people. I'm seeing how y'all trying to throw us under the bus, blame Americans, blame racism if we recognize it. That makes me say, Trump, get everybody out of here. Everybody out of here. See, so let's continue watching Abby try to say, but why is it?
We're talking about how Donald Trump talks about
backgrounds.
That is his
backgrounds. People of all backgrounds steal and defraud.
But when it comes down to y'all wanting to blame something on white folks, it's never people of all backgrounds. A white man shot up a whole bunch of people. A white man racist at the white national. Yeah, but you don't say, but people of all colors commit mass shootings oftentimes, especially in the hood. It's done all the time. Nah, y'all will definitely focus on just one particular race when y'all can demonize the white man. You don't distribute that mess around. You know what I mean? Why is it that we want to focus on white people when something like that? And everybody does it. Everybody does it. See, so we're hip to the game, and that's why I'm calling it out. But I ain't done yet.
Is that okay? Policing of the American people by immigrants is just utterly unacceptable.
Yes, it is. And see, they don't get that. That's what makes it offensive. It's saying, look, they're guests. And they want to become permanent. And this is what you do. This is how you respond. You know, now I'm starting to feel offended. If Abby could, put this in the context of her own personal life, when somebody comes along and they need you, they come from a bad situation and they repay you by stealing from you. They repay you by, disrespecting your culture, the way that's unacceptable. You're going, whoa. Now, see, I feel like you're taking advantage of my kindness and arrogant about it. Arrogant. If I wouldn't have caught you, you would have continued. So, Abby, but why is it?
Let me make this point. When people have been granted,
you just said the mass fleecing of the American people by immigrants.
Yes.
There is mass fleecing of the American people that is happening by Americans every single day.
Americans. Keyword. Americans. Yeah. Because America's a large place. Of course, there's going to be crime all over the place. But I'm talking about a concentration of crime, confined to one group of people that all have something in common. They're all Somalian. And they somehow racked up one of the biggest heists of our time. I don't even know of a scandal where anybody was able to rip the government off for that amount of money besides the Democrats. And they do it because we are actually signing. But I'm talking about civilians being able to pull that off. And you want us to overlook what they have in common? Yeah, you want us to think that it was just a whole bunch of individual Somalians that all figured out individually how to beat the system for all of that money. See, so yeah.
Most of the fleecing is happening by
these people are.
But whoa, here we go, y'all. Another Democrat coup, part 2. Now, y'all remember this is Dishes 6 a couple weeks ago? Y'all remember them? Democrats, always up to evil. Always throwing us under the bus so they can get at Trump. And they've never stopped to think how it comes across to the American people when you hear the stupidity that's about to come out of these people right here. Yeah, I'm saying, y'all are so focused on trying to make Trump look bad, trying to impeach Trump, trying to get headset, trying to sow chaos, trying to, drum up your crazy radical base to distrust Trump, hate Trump, all that stuff. Did you forget about the rest of the American people and how they view what you're doing? So here it comes.
Are sick people. These are people that I think they hate our country. You want to know the truth?
How it started.
I am your retribution.
Okay.
As I've said, and I'll say again, we've only just begun striking narco boats and putting narco terrorists at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
Because they've been poisoning the American people. And Joe Biden tried to approach it with kid gloves and allowed them to come across the border. Cartels take over community, 20 million people, hundreds of thousands of Americans poisoned. And President Trump said, no, we're taking the gloves off. We're taking the fight to these designated terror organizations. And it's exactly what we're doing. So we're
darn right. Y'all hear that? Now here I am as an American. And I'm saying, about time. You're telling me we got the most powerful country on the planet, all this technology, but for some reason, all of these decades, we haven't been able to stop all of these drugs coming into our country. We're not able to stop people from coming across our border. And we can't stop the narco terrorists from getting there. They're outsmarting us. They're outsmarting us. Now, I would lose faith in our technology and our military and our security if we're talking about we can prevent Russia and we can prevent China and all these other land and we're terrorists, but yet we can't stop these drug dealers from getting drugs into our country. We couldn't do that, or we weren't willing to do it. There was something else going on with that. But now we got a president that says, it can't be that hard. How about we just show them we mean business? Just like we did at that border, and now we got zero crossings.
We're stopping the drugs, we're striking the boats, we're defeating narco terrorists, and we're standing.
And you may say one thing, that drugs coming in through the sea by sea are down 91%.
What? 91%? How did you do it, Trump? How did you do it? Just like that border is on lockdown. All it takes is a president with the will to do it. And the people in America are going, yeah, smart people are going, about time. We shouldn't be letting everybody just abuse us. We shouldn't be letting everybody mooch off of our citizens, poison our kids, all the violence that comes along with the cartel. Yeah, I bet you they're hurting right now. They would love Kamala Harris back. They would love mucus back. I know it. But now, every dude who gets in that boat, like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to try it, okay? You're looking up in the sky. Every one of them. They're like, all right, they done blew up about 10 boats. That's it, man. I know the money is good and all, but I got to look for the eye in the sky. That's what happened. See, just like those terrorists, when we blew up Solomon Grundy, I call him. Well, we blew him up. Rest of the terrorists was like, oh, shoot, wait a minute. What's that? What's that up there? That's the respect that we should have. But our Democrats don't like it. They would rather these drugs coming into our country, poisoning our kids, our people, all the violence that comes along with it. They would rather that, just so they can make Trump look like he's the bad guy. Now, do you see the treacherous behavior? You are basically turning on your own president and all of the American citizens that are impacted by these evil, disgusting drug dealers, and yet your angle is let's make Trump look bad. Let's go ahead and try to impeach Hate-Sep. Let's go ahead and say y'all need to have sympathy on these people. You know what? This is where I realized how serious the cartel is. When I saw a video back in the day, it was going around the internets, and I saw this dude have this girl. It was in Mexico. Had this girl on her knees tied up, and he was saying something. And then he took a butcher knife and beheaded her under a minute. And I watched it, all the kids, somehow the kids, this one I was teaching years ago. I'm surprised they didn't take that off the internet. But the kids was all over in the corner, man, this is crazy. I said, well, what y'all got going on over there? Man, you need to see this. So I was like, should I watch this? Man, he cut that lady's head off in under a minute. So I went to this guy named Carlos who worked at the school. He was a janitor. I said, Carlos, man, you from Mexico. Look, is this video real? He said, yeah, that's real, man. He said he broke down what the guy was saying. Everybody thought that the girl cheated on this guy, and that's why he did it. Nope. She just became friends with somebody from another cartel. And that was so disrespectful that this guy decided to cut her head off. No emotions, his friends in the background, under a minute. And I'm looking at this going, that dude right there, I would love to have in a nice secluded room with some surgical the tools and stuff right there. And make sure we get the IV going and keep him awake so we can work on him for a while. When you do something like that to a woman, and it wasn't his first rodeo, yeah, nobody, unless you're a surgeon or you done been doing that for a long time, how do you do that? I wouldn't be able to do that to somebody in under a minute with a butcher knife. And yet that dude did it. And I said, these people are animals. And yet our Democrats are up here talking about that. You shouldn't do that. And they don't even realize how horrible they sound. I'm going, so you're going to turn on our people, on our president, because you want him out of office and you're taking up for the drug dealers.
And I don't know who the 9% is.
I'm not sure either, sir.
But down 91%.
91%. They should be happy. The Democrats will be, about time we got us a president that's doing something to stop this. About time we got us an administration that's taking this mess seriously and not going to, we're still fighting the war on drugs as they're running across our border, bringing drugs in from all over the place. And instead of being happy.
See, we've had a bit of a pause because it's hard to find boats to strike right now.
Exactly.
Which is the entire point.
Bam! Now, any smart, reasonable person listening to this say, yeah, I mean, what good is it to be the most powerful country on the planet? And the drug dealer's like, man, forget them. They're not going to do nothing. Keep the drugs going. Versus, oh, shoot, they're showing us that they're the most powerful country on the planet. They're showing us that, hey, the last administration and many before them didn't take y'all seriously. Might have been getting money. I mean, who knows why they was just letting it happen. But all I know is for years I've been thinking about that and I'm going, why can't we stop these people? I mean, I think it's a lack of will. I always would say that. I go, we can, if we really get serious, you telling me they just gonna muscle past us to get this stuff over here? Why don't we take it seriously? Now we got somebody taking it seriously and watch the unserious Democrats try to turn this into an opportunity to not only impeach Trump and headset and intimidate the folks in the military, but to launch a coup, another coup.
Exactly what he just said.
Exactly.
But what both those guys said.
Deterrence has to matter, not arrest and hand over and then do it again, the rinse and repeat approach of previous administration.
Yeah, there you go. Because see, that's how the Democrats flow. They're lawless. Same thing they do, catch and release at the border. We got you. All right, now go ahead into the country. Make sure you come back in about 8 months. Same thing with criminals in their city. We got you. Here's some about bail reform. Go ahead out there and commit crime. Burn somebody up on the train. There you go. That's what they do. A bunch of catch and release. They never send a message, but don't let some conservatives do something. Throw the book at them. Hey, Granny, you walked around up in the Capitol, okay? Yeah, you violated, you know what? 15 years. But let's go ahead and coddle the drug dealers and let's coddle the folks that's unreal, these people, man. They disgust me. Watch this.
1 hour later.
So you didn't see any survivors, to be clear, after that first strike? I did not personally see survivors, but I stand, because the thing was on fire. That was exploded and fire, smoke, you can't see anything, you got digital. This is called the fog of war. This is what you and the press don't understand.
Tell them, Pete.
You sit in your air-conditioned offices or up on Capitol Hill and you nitpick and you plant fake stories in the Washington Post about kill everybody, phrases on anonymous sources not based in anything. Not based in any truth at all. And then you want to throw out really irresponsible terms about American heroes.
Yeah, real irresponsible. The unlawful orders, this right here is a war crime. War crime. These are coming from Americans who you think should be on our team. They're willing to go so far to throw the military under the bus, the Secretary of War under the bus for cartel people. That's what they're willing to do. Because, see, it's not about the cartel people. You think they care about those people? No. They care about getting that man out and getting that man out. That's all they care about. And if they got to throw American citizens under the bus, they got to pretend to be so sensitive towards the cartel members. If they got to pretend to do all of that, they will be willing to impeach one of our own for cartel members. And you know what burns me up about this? I bet you the cartel love them. They think they got themselves an advocate in America. They're going, yes, put the pressure on Trump so we can fire these bolts up again. That's how treacherous our Democrat Party is and our media. So Pete is keeping it real.
About the judgment that they made. I wrote a whole book on this topic because of what politicians and the press does to warfighters.
Yep. And I don't give a darn if they were still alive on the boat. They knew the risk when they decided to bring these drugs over here. Even if Pete Hegseth would have said, whoa, there's 2 of them moving over there. I want the whole boat blown out of the water. But no, they want to blame Pete for saying, all right, those two guys are struggling right there. They're hanging on to a little raft floating in the ocean. Just go ahead and kill them. Let's go ahead and kill them. But let's go ahead and see how the media tries to frame this.
President Trump has empowered commanders to do what is necessary, which is dark and difficult things in the dead of night on behalf of the American people. We support them, and we will stop the poisoning of the American people. A14.
Suck my back.
I can say this, I want those boats taken out, and if we have to, we'll attack on land also, just like we attack on sea. And there's very little coming in by sea. I think we've knocked out over 90% of it.
Wow. Look at the results that a serious administration gets. Everybody takes them seriously. They're like, wow, these men aren't playing. Even Maduro, or whatever his name is, the guy down there, he's talking about retiring. He's like, before y'all kill me, just let me go somewhere and retire. Yeah, the guy over all of that mess is going, let me just drift off. And can I do that? Can I do that? I'll turn it back over to the people. I done made my money. So now, let's see what Jesse got to say about it, because here comes the fools.
Cartels have injected decades of death into our nation.
Yeah,
and
but the
now,
Democrats don't care.
Finally, for once, killing them.
Yeah.
Democrats now are accusing us, though, of murder.
How you like that? How you like that for team players? Yeah, how do you like that for America first? Okay, Trump's saving lives, American lives, and these fools are accusing him of murder. They're not accusing the cartels of murdering all of these Americans. They're not accusing them of all of the cartel violence that goes on, the beheading of folks, people being put in drums, tortured, killed, all for power, all for money. That is a dirty game. But these folks right here, and Trump's the murderer. Pete Hegseth's the murderer. But it goes to show how disgusting they are. And they get blind, like they got a blind spot to where they never stop to think of, how is this going to sound to a real average common sense American? Not one of your lunatics, not one of your radicals. How is this going to come across to a hardworking American sitting down watching y'all, and you hear about us stopping drugs from coming across the country, blowing up these boats, and then the Democrats get on TV and do this?
Another week, another hoax.
The Washington Post broke the news reporting Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth gave a spoken directive according to two people with direct knowledge of the operation. The order was to kill everybody.
What? Yeah. Exactly. Fire everything. That's what I say. Yeah, make an example. You won't have to keep blowing boats up, pretty soon, because they're going to say, we get it. We get it. I mean, we're going to get blown out the water if we send somebody out there. We can't pay you enough to go ahead and float a boat out there. They're like, what good would the money be? You could give me $1 billion talking about, all right, if you could just get the boat back to the... No, 7 before us, they're still watching. They're still watching. They're using all that fancy technology. They see what we're doing. See, that's how you get results. But, of course.
One of them said,
why isn't it possible to just interdict them the way that we do with the Coast Guard, where you go and take the drugs and then put those people on trial and investigate and then follow the drugs to their source of origin and then take care of it there?
Yeah, because see, that right there has worked, right? That has, oh wait, it didn't? You're telling me that method that we've been using all of this time has not deterred the drug lords from sending their drugs here? No? Why can't we? Everybody wants to go ahead and break it down now, but they're not looking at the results. Everybody wants to say, well, why can't we just do this and this and that? Well, why can't we do what we're doing now? Because it's working. That's my question. And it's very simple. It doesn't require us going through all of these unnecessary steps. You don't have to, all right, let's get them, and then we bring them in, and we got to process them, and then we got to do that. We don't have to do that. All we got to do is blow a boat or two up in the water, and they go, okay, we got it. We get it. We get it. You don't want us coming to your country with cocaine on the boats.
Because if this is deemed to have been war crimes, which by all accounts right now, there are 7 sources that said Pete Hegseth did say kill them all.
7 sources. Now, where in the double H hockey sticks are you getting that information? Where are those 7 sources? Somebody's setting y'all up to look like fools. 7 sources. They want it to be a war crime. They are praying for a war crime. They're like, because see, they would be willing to prosecute our own, government, our own president, rather, than to go ahead and let them solve this problem. That's how much they hate Trump. They're like, you know what? We would definitely get Pete on some war crimes. We would impeach Trump, try to get him on some of that stuff, because we hate them more than we hate the cartel. That's what it is. We hate them more than we hate the fact that these drugs are killing all these Americans. And here she is, trying to go ahead and label it a war crime, y'all.
Even after there were 2 survivors, which you're supposed to do under international law, you are supposed to take those fighters as war criminals, prisoners of war, and you're supposed.
We're not at war with them. We're not at war. But you're supposed to take them and coddle them. You have to give them a back rub and a foot massage too, and pamper them.
Supposed to give them refuge, and you're supposed to take care of them. And
what? On our dollars? That they're supposed to give them refuge and take care of them?
Then you were supposed to put them into a court of law.
There's no way they know who was on these boats. They could just be fishermen. President El Pork Chapo said, blow them up anyway.
There it is. Our intelligence has no idea. No idea who's on the boats. Says the comedian. Yeah, that's right. We're just going ahead and saying, look at that. That looks like a family out there water skiing down there in the Caribbean or wherever it's coming from. So let's go ahead and blow them up. Let's see what happens there. But sir, they're not cartel members. Yeah, I know. I mean, they just look like they're having too much fun. I'm cooped up in this office up here in Washington, and look at them down there. They're celebrating, having a good time. They're hang gliding and all of that stuff. Blow them up. Blow them up. Oh, okay. That's an unlawful order. You know that, sir. Yeah, but who cares? I'll never be brought up on war crimes. And then look at this dude. Watch this dude threaten our military.
Statute of limitations for any crimes being committed now 5 years. It will extend well beyond the end of the Trump administration.
See? That's why we can never, ever, ever let these people get power again. Ever. Ever. I mean, this is how treacherous they are. That right there is throwing out a subliminal message to all of our military folks who execute these orders. Yeah, that right there saying, y'all better not do what Trump tell y'all to do. Because when we get back in power, we going to do something to y'all. We going to any of y'all that is bold enough to obey him, you're going to have to worry about us. Whether you broke the law or not, we're going to concoction some mess. We're going to come up with some bull crap, find a couple raggedy prosecutors, some raggedy judges, some woke folks in the military. So y'all better get the hint. That's what this dude is suggesting, but he's not the only one.
On the drug aspect, very little of the drugs that go through Venezuela actually come to the United States. That is not the preferred path for drug dealers. The preferred.
Are you sitting in there with their strategies and stuff like that, though? We're thinking about going up the coast, but end of all, like, no, what you want to do, you want to go up this place because the majority of drugs, are you sitting in there planning it? So now all of a sudden she's an expert on drug trafficking.
Path actually goes through the Pacific coast, through Central America.
Yeah.
Now she's a drug trafficking expert.
Yeah.
These are the kinds of small boats with outboard motors that you can see in small lakes in New Hampshire.
You see him sipping? You see this dude right here sipping for those little boats? These are, I don't want you Americans to see these as boats filled with cocaine and most likely killers with guns on those boats. No, these are just like little sailboats that you might see any day on the beach. Or do you see this? They should be taken off the air for this type of propaganda. Unbelievable.
They're not ocean crossing vessels. They have no cabins. They're just open boats
with a whole bunch of drugs on them. No, they're not open. They're just little boats with a whole heap of drugs.
With outboard motors, they're used for water skiing and family fishing outings in New England and California and the Great Lakes.
Wow. This man and that network should be embarrassed. Did you hear this man just go ahead and hit him with the love boat? Da, 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 da. He made that mug into the Love Boat, y'all. There it is, man. Unbelievable. How much prostitution money can you be making to come out and try to soften that up and make it seem like the drug boats are just little sailboats with that, that's all they are.
What do we call it when there isn't a war?
I guess the common word would be murder.
Oh, it's murder now. What do we call it when there isn't a war? So wait, if other terrorists started floating towards our shore, we'd have to declare war to blow them out the water? I'm just wondering. These people right here are trying to manipulate the public. They're trying to make the public turn on Trump as if he and Pete Hegseth are doing things unlawfully. We're just out there winging it. We're going to war with just everybody and there's no declaration, nothing. We're just assassinating folks for no reason and we're blowing up little love boats. You see how evil these people are? And they're all doing it because they hate Trump. And I'm saying y'all are playing with fire. With fire. Y'all messing up the military, how they function. Y'all trying to threaten them and then watch what they even do for this coup.
For Pete's sake, you've got people whose boat has been blown up. To make a Hollywood reference, when the
people whose boat has been blown up, they're leaving out cartel drug dealers. Same how they leave out illegal immigrants. That people are just being arrested for no reason. Cartel members' boats are being blown up, and you guys are selling us out so much that y'all are trying to make us be sympathetic to these cartel boats. Unbelievable.
bad guys are machine gunning the survivors in the water. It's not guys. Americans in the movies.
Yeah.
It's the bad guys.
It's the bad guys. Now you hear all this propaganda? This about to slap them right back in their own faces.
The U.S. military ordered a second strike on defenseless shipwreck survivors.
What? Defenseless shipwreck survivors. Man, Democrats suck. I'm telling you, man, I do not see how they could live with themselves. They all have to be like sociopaths. All got to be sociopaths. That man just got up there and had the nerve to say that we ordered a second attack. And see, look how they choose their words to manipulate people. On shipwrecked survivors. Man. So let me understand. Oh, shoot, man. We got flipped over from a wave, a 20-foot wave. We're out here with the little floaties on the arms. And they just start shooting on us. Shipwreck survivors, y'all. Boy, is this going to come back. I mean, this is one of the biggest, beautiful, just, smacks in the face. I'm loving it.
If it's true that we dropped a second bomb.
There's the communist. There's the guy that got the Nazi tattoo on the chest. If it's true that we dropped a second bomb.
In order to kill survivors, that is absolutely a war crime.
Absolutely.
There needs to be an investigation.
Yeah.
And we need to make sure that the people conducting illegal activity are held accountable.
Oh. Now seditious 6 Kelly's crashing out.
Oh, shoot. He's back. So now that was the first attempted coup, y'all. When they was talking about you don't have. So they've been laying the groundwork for this coup. They're trying to say, we done blew through all of the other ways that we can to get rid of Trump. Tried to take him out, trying to get the lower courts to stop him. All of these things. We done blew through it all, and it looks like this guy is not going away. So now, let's see if we can get the military to turn on him. Yeah, let's see if we could go ahead, plant the seed in the American minds that Trump is just out there. Be quiet, Nala. Trump is just out there doing whatever he wants to do with our military and forcing them to do stuff. And then let's threaten them too. Y'all know if y'all if y'all obey unlawful orders, y'all gonna have to see us later. So now watch this. He's back. You would think this dude would have shut up.
He runs around on a stage like he's a 12-year-old playing Army. And it is ridiculous. It is embarrassing. And I can't imagine what our allies think.
Yeah, they're thinking these cats are serious now. And they're probably thinking their Democrats are traitors. They're probably thinking like, dang, I thought we was cold. Man, I thought over in Europe we were cold. Man, these Democrats are something that, man, they're putting us to shame. They're willing to go ahead and label their own, Secretary of War as a war criminal over killing illegal drugs and these folks on these boats, killing these terrorists from bringing the drugs into their country. Do you understand how disrespectful that is? You understand the level of sellout that you were on when you say, hey man, we would jail one of our own. We would throw one of our own under the bus in jail, open back up the drug trade again so our citizens could be impacted by this and, give comfort to the dang on cartel just because we want to get back in power. When you break it down like that, you see just how evil these people are. And yet we're contemplating whether we want to get rid of the filibuster or not. Do it right now. We can't take the chance of folks this evil ever getting back in power.
And last night, he's putting out on the internet turtles with rocket-propelled grenades. Have you seen this?
Yeah, it was great.
They're defending drug smugglers over American families.
Wow, that's crazy, ain't it, Jesse? That's crazy. Defending drug traffickers over American families. Now do you see the blind spot? They don't even see it like that. In their mind, they're like, yeah, we went out there and made Trump look bad. We made people question whether he's out there just using the military for his own pet project. Yeah, and I'm going, you're making yourself look like trash. Y'all are making folks to say, you guys don't love us at all. If I could throw mud on you, man, boy, I tell you, if you give me a pie to throw, a tomato, or something like that, they're trash and they don't even see it. I'm going, stop for 1 second and say, how does this look to a regular, common sense American? But nope, not them. It's more. Watch this. It gets worse.
What about our rights and our lives?
As the Trump administration shifts responsibility for that September boat strike to Admiral Frank Bradley.
Oh, yeah, shifts responsibility. So now they thinking they're going to get him, y'all. They're thinking that they're about to get him finally. Meet, the road runner. They're like, yeah, we got anonymous sources to say Pete ordered a second hit on these people. And we got all of this stuff. And when Trump and this, they're laying the groundwork to try to impeach Pete or try to go after Trump because they're murdering innocent folks that's out selling and enjoying the sun. Yeah, laying the groundwork. So what do? They bring in the admiral who was over it. And instead of Pete Hegseth going up there so the Democrats can make a spectacle, now they got to deal with a real, man of war.
Bradley will head to Capitol Hill tomorrow, where he is expected to brief top members of the Armed Services and Intelligence Committees about
a no-nonsense person. Now, I would have loved to have been in there and see him come in with his hat under his arm, sit down, and I know he's thinking, these are traitors. I know they're asking questions, well, what happened, and that Pete had said that, and I know, and he probably was respectful, but in his mind, he's probably thinking, I hope nobody in the military ever vote for you guys. Yeah, we see what you would do to us just for power. Let's continue.
About those attacks of the Senate.
Look at this ugly guy. This is one ugly dude. He look like he got a prosthetic nose on. What kind of nose is that? He got that real Jimmy Duran nose. Ha-cha-cha-cha. Yeah, that dude got one of those noses that those funny looking gorillas or monkeys have with that big fat nose. That's what kind of nose he looked. Good grief, looks like he's half dead. So let's go ahead and see what the big nose dude got to say. Because see, they're trying to drum up a case for impeachment and, of course, war crimes.
Many Democratic Senator Mark Warner of Virginia. Senator, thank you for coming on the show. Some of the questions that you will want answers to from Admiral Bradley tomorrow.
Well, I don't want any answers from him because he's going to keep it real. I want to get Pete Hegseth in there so we can make a spectacle out of it.
I'm going to want to get answers on what did Pete Hegseth order?
Whoa. What's with that lisp and that spit and that tongue coming out? I want to get answers on what Pete Hegseth ordered. You need to get a handle on how your speech sounds, buddy. Enunciate your words.
Why haven't we seen the whole unedited video? If there's nothing inappropriate here, you could have cleared this up without the Admiral coming in.
Clear this up. He sounds like Sylvester. You got to clear this up. Sucker and succotash. So now, you hear this big nose Sylvester the cat up here. Now, why is it that they always want to get their nose and stuff? Always. We want to look into this. We need to get to the bottom of this. We need answers. And I'm going, why? You want to get to the bottom of why we're killing narco terrorists. And you want to get to the bottom of it. You want to find problems and things that aren't problems. That's what y'all always looking for something. Always. We want to get to the bottom. And then the people that you're trying to protect are disgusting. I'm saying, man, y'all pick the worst people to protect. And Trump sets them up for this all the time. No, it's their hatred towards Trump that sets them up for this stuff.
He's got a great reputation. I respect him. I want to get the truth, and I'm not sure we've had the truth from Hegseth yet.
Not from Hegseth yet. Where's that putty cat? That Tweety bird. So here he is. We want to get to the and I'm going, no, you don't. You guys don't want truth. You want to get to Trump. You want to get to Trump. You want to get to Hegseth. That's all you want. So stop lying to us. We want to get to the bottom of it. You telling me you really want to know whether Pete Hegseth killed 2 cartel members trying to smuggle drugs? Or you're trying to make it seem like, oh, he's just merciless. He's just killing people randomly. And now we could go in and impeach him for this.
Remember, this is an administration that has treated the uniformed military
wonderfully.
Unprecedented disrespect when they were all brought to get a pep rally in front of Hegseth and Trump.
You mean the one they enjoyed and had a good time? It's way better than they having on Biden falling on stage, Biden looking at his watch after he ended up causing the death of 13 of our service members, Biden's administration forcing people to step down because they didn't get the shot. Yeah, but Trump's disrespecting our military. You see, they don't even think he can only get away with this trash because some people don't know what the last administration has done to our military. And then they come back in and restore integrity, get the wokeness out, brought these people back and reinstated them. And here he is talking about they disrespected our military. I'm still looking for Tweety.
This is an administration that's fired, uniform generals from the head of the NSA, the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency. And I think in many ways, the uniformed military may help save us from this president and his lame people like Hegseth.
Whoa, wait a minute now. Hold on. What do you mean that I think our military might save us from the duly elected president and the appointed Secretary of War from this administration? What are you inferring, buddy? What are you trying to encourage?
Because I think their commitment is to the Constitution and obviously not to Trump.
No. You want the commitment to be to the Democrats instead of Trump and the Constitution. You're going ahead and dropping the seed that, hey, a military coup could solve this problem for us. We're all out of ideas. So now we're just hoping maybe we could catch enough woke folk in the military that would just go ahead and say, all right, that we're going to step in and defend our country from our enemies abroad and then go ahead and take down the president. That's what you're suggesting? Because how in the world can the military save us from Trump without a coup?
Expect Bradley to adhere to that.
Here's another one. See, they're suggesting that the military could save us from Trump. And I'm going, how? Yeah, break that down. Tell us how.
By what I learned from our members in the military. And they tell me at town halls or, the ones who I've had longstanding friendships with, that we shouldn't count them out as a check on abuses of power.
Since when did the military become responsible for checks on abuse of power? Do you see what these people are doing? This is another soft coup. It is, hey, if we could convince enough dummies in the military to say, well, we think Trump's doing something, we're going to launch a coup. Unreal with these people are traitors, man. Another coup part 2. The first one is y'all don't have to obey unlawful orders. Now all of a sudden, all these people be telling me, don't count them out. Now, they lying. He's making it up. And he ain't all these people be coming up to me and no, they don't. But here he is talking about, they said, don't count us out. And I'm going, so what does that mean? Fartwell, break that down. How in the world can the military stop the president? There's only one way to do that.
And of course, you have the congressional check from Article 1 of the Constitution. The judiciary is supposed to be independent. Not a lot of faith in either of those.
We've exhausted all of our options.
Members of the military have told me, they're not going to follow illegal orders.
You hear these fools just lying, making up stuff. See, this is the stuff that burns me up about them. That's why I say, you know what? I don't know if I want to live with these people in our country. The Democrat Party is so dang on deceptive and evil. And they think we don't see it. You think I'm sitting here believing that the military people are reaching out to Eric Fartwell, the guy who ended up getting deceived and slept with a spy? You should be brought up on treasonous charges. But nonetheless, here you are, you're saying a line about all these people coming up to you and they say, don't count us out. Don't count us out. We're going to be more loyal to the Constitution. So what you're hinting at, without saying it, is maybe the military could step in and maybe take Trump down. That's what it is, because we can't beat him. Yeah, maybe the military can subvert the will of 77 million Americans who voted for him. We done tried everything else. Who knows?
There is no lawyer that I'm aware of who indicates that second strike is not a war crime.
War crime. Notice they throwing that out there recklessly. That second strike.
These are individuals in the water who were wounded. It is against the law to strike and kill those individuals. They did that. As far as I'm concerned, there is a war crime involved here.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, there's a war crime. Now you see how evil. Now understand, guys. Look who they're defending. They're defending people who kill millions of Americans with their poison. And he's talking about the war crime to kill two individuals who, if they would not have been blown up, would have brought all kind of drugs to our country, you dummy. But they hate Trump that much that they're willing to look like they love the cartel.
And it's for that reason that I think we need to hold people accountable. Secretary of Defense.
Yeah, hold people accountable. How? How? That's my question once again. Throw our own people under the bus for the cartel just so you can get at Trump.
Should be somebody who stands by the law, who stands by the requirements that you have to put in place if you're going to responsibly conduct aggressive action against anybody.
Now I want you all to go start getting your eggs, because we're coming to the finale. We're about to come to the grand finale to shut down this coup, this hoax. Yeah, everybody get your eggs ready. Here's another one. Here's another egghead.
Do the rules of international waters play into whether this was a war crime?
Yeah, in my opinion, no. This is not self-defense. And no matter where you do the strike, if it's not self-defense, then it's illegal. And look,
in my opinion, no. If it's not self-defense, and if it's not self-defense, then it's illegal. So you look, all right. You see this guy right here?
I have a lot of sympathy for the general idea that when we send our service members out into combat, they got some very difficult decisions to make. When you look at what was going on in Iraq and Afghanistan, and you're stopping someone, do they have a gun? Do they have a suicide vest? Are they a threat? When you're in the middle of an insurgency with roadside bombs and car bombs and all of that, even in the aftermath of the Afghanistan pullout.
Now, y'all ready? Watch him go ahead and get ahead of what the Biden administration did. Because that's a question in everybody's mind. I mean, Obama, he droned the heck out of a whole bunch of people, and we weren't at war with them. One of them was an American citizen. And then Biden goes ahead, tries to make up for his blunder. They got 13 of our members killed and blew up an innocent family. Innocent family going to a wedding. And so now he's going to get out ahead of that and then make himself sound like the biggest hypocrite and fool ever.
We had that suicide bomber kill 13 service members and hundreds of people in Kabul.
We remember.
And we did that strike against a car that we thought was a threat that turned out not to be a threat.
Oh, you mean to tell me it was bad intel? Unlike the good intel we have with these narco boats. Y'all didn't do the check. Blew up an innocent family. Is that a war crime? I'm pretty sure. If there was a such thing as a war crime or murder, that's it. But watch how he go ahead and excuse that.
I have some sympathy for that.
Oh, I bet you do. I bet you do. And you got a lot of sympathy for these drug dealers that's bringing drugs to our citizens. They disgust me. They disgust me. I wish I had a Thanos glove. A Thanos glove. I would focus all of that on the Democrat Party. Without them, our country might reset back to sanity. They're the cause of insanity, cause of chaos. I could go ahead and put together a whole diagram showing how they're connected to all kind of stuff in our country. And so here he is. I can sympathize with that, but not Trump blowing these narco boats out the water.
But people on a boat in the middle of the Caribbean carrying cocaine are not a direct threat to the lives of our service members or Americans.
What? Did he not stop and screen that thought past anything in his brain? But people on a boat in the middle of the ocean carrying cocaine is not a threat to our service members, or neither what's that family that was on their way to that wedding that Biden blew up that you can sympathize over, huh? That I can sympathize in that situation. But yet now you want to just dummy this down to just some people on a boat, middle of the ocean. And look, little cocaine, little nose candy, ain't too bad. You know what I'm saying? We all saw Tony Montana sniffing all that coke. But let's continue watching them make fools of themselves.
You know, one of the factors that drives youth in the United States and is demand.
Watch this. See the excuses they're making for the cartel? Yeah, just to get at Trump. The demand.
And most narco traffickers are not in those boats. They pay people to do that. And
y'all hear this? Do y'all see what these people are doing just to get at Trump? Making themselves look like complete jackasses. So, I mean, these are just drug smugglers that's just trying to make a living. Out there, the lower end folks, and they're just trying to feed their family. We should just let them go ahead and come through with the drugs and all of this stuff. And I'm going, wow, y'all are the biggest sellouts I've ever seen, ever. Their hatred for Trump got them doing stupid stuff.
And usually people were not significantly involved with narco trading.
So it's better. It's better. There you go. It's not better. We shouldn't touch them. Go after the big dogs. Then when you do that, you can't do that.
They make money.
Democrats are busy making total fools of themselves.
And how?
Because when they're not defending criminal illegals, Somali fraudsters, and international drug traffickers, they're trying to get their first scalp in the Trump cabinet.
Bam.
Until this morning, they thought they had it.
They thought they had it? Uh-oh.
A new report from the Washington Post leads some lawmakers to ask whether the Pentagon has committed a war crime.
What we've seen here over the last couple of days.
You see that guy with those elf ears? You see that guy right there with those two satellites sitting on the side of his head, crooked? Talking about, I thought, now he should be laying low. This guy that was one of the original Sedition Six, he should be somewhere sitting down and shutting up before Pete Hegseth bring him back in.
Is clearly unlawful, illegal orders.
It's clearly. Man don't have any intel, don't know anything about the whole situation, and he's out here on TV talking about it's clearly unlawful orders. Couldn't wait to hear the report, hear from the colonel. Nothing. You see how they operate? Yeah. I mean, totally irresponsible and reckless. Wanting to make something be true that isn't. Yeah, it's unlawful orders, so we should have a coup. Unlawful orders, so we need to get Hegseth out of there. They are disgusting.
Goes to this order from the secretary, apparently of no quarter, which is an obvious war crimes violation.
Obvious. Man, do you see how reckless they are with their words? It's obvious a war crime when you're slinging these things out there like that. I mean, you are declaring that our Secretary of War is committing crimes against cartel members, against drug dealers, against people who are using drugs to kill citizens in our country. And you fools are all over TV. It's a war crime. No, what's a crime is billions, if not trillions of dollars of drugs coming into our country and we don't stop it. That's a crime. What's a crime is all of the hundreds and thousands of people who die from fentanyl. That's a crime. And you guys would rather that than Trump be successful. If you can use this to impeach him or Hegseth, hey, I mean, what's a couple 100,000 lives of Americans a year to compare to getting Trump out? That's the biggest problem we got. Forget the rest of y'all. Unreal. Somebody said, "Is it a crime?" I love that song. This may come as some surprise, but I miss you. Yeah, buddy. So here are these guys up here talking about it's absolutely a war crime.
This rises to the level of a war crime.
Holy moly.
If it's true.
When people want to surrender, you don't kill them. And they have to pose an imminent threat.
Let me be very...
People want to surrender. Did they say they want to surrender? Even if they was on the boat, did we look down through the binoculars? Did we zoom in with the satellites and see them down there like this? Did we see that? No? What did we really see? That's what I want to know. Because right now, I'm getting curious. I'm starting to wonder. All these Democrats are telling me it's a war crime. Pete Hegseth was like, look at them. They're still moving. They're crawling along, barely alive. Kill them. Because that's what they're trying to infer. So let's see what they were really doing.
Very clear. Killing shipwreck survivors is a war crime.
Holy moly. Man, these cats. Killing shipwreck survivors. Gilligan's Island? What are you talking about? What they tipped over and was on the island sitting there like, help! Yeah, we wrote help in the sand with rocks. And instead of helping us, you guys just blow us up. Blow us up. Man, the level of betrayal to our country is fascinating. That man just called them shipwreck survivors.
According to a source familiar with the incident, the two survivors climbed back onto the boat after the initial strike. They were believed to be potentially in communication with others and salvaging some of the drugs.
What? Those innocent shipwreck survivors? They were trying to float on that coke. That's what it was. Don't blow us up. We're not trying to save it. We're using it as a flotational device. Are you kidding me? So all these Democrats and fake news folks been peddling this hoax all week. Pete had said that this is definitely a war crime. We need to get to the bottom of this. And now you're telling me, right before the admiral comes in, we find out that Pete Hegseth wasn't lying. We found out that these folks weren't just innocent folks out sailing, shipwrecked. They were going to look, we're under attack. Send us some help, some backup. We're going to try to save the yayo. And had to go because they were trying to save the yayo.
Because of that, it was determined they were still in the fight and valid targets.
He sounded so sure until he wasn't.
That is a war crime.
War crime.
Full stop.
The Admiral confirmed that there had not been a kill them all order.
Oh, do you see the difference in his tone? Almost as if he is crushed, which you should be. All of these stinking Democrats who've been labeling this as a war crime and the military, and they need to be blasted. They need to come out and apologize, but they'll never do it. Yeah, watch. Did you see this guy's attitude? The Admiral did confirm that, yeah, now you look stupid.
And that there was not an order to grant no quarter.
Oh, no, where you going? Where you going? Right now, if I was there with a mic, I would throw it to hit him in the back of the head as he's walking away. Hold up. Yeah, I wasn't finished asking you no question, man. Just a minute ago, it's definitely a war crime. You want to say you sorry? You want to take your time? You just labeled Pete Hegseth as the war criminal and then talking about they're murdering people.
Then today on Capitol Hill, Admiral Bradley launched a truth bomb behind closed doors.
Was there a kill-all order from Secretary?
Was it a kill?
No. Admiral Bradley was very clear that he was given no such order, to give no quarter or to kill them all.
What? What happened to the anonymous four sources, rather? So 4 people lied to these people? So the Admiral comes in and said, nope, absolutely. Pete Hegseth did not tell us to go. Wow. Now, do you see how dangerous the Democrats are to our country? I mean, they're messing around in areas that they need to be out of. They're all in the military. They're all in immigration. They're just all over the place causing problems and lying. And then when the truth comes out, they just disappear, walk away from the mic like that guy just did. Boy, I tell you, man.
He was given an order that, of course, was written down in great detail, as the military always does.
But was there a vocal order as well?
There's no vocal order either.
No vocal order either. And they're out there trashing Pete Hegseth all week. Pete Hegseth said that This man, he's not qualified. He's not qualified. Man, they all need a kick in the nuts. All right, so here's Laura.
Of course, after hyping the story, though, all week, Democrats did their best to salvage their own record.
Of course. They got to come out now and eat that crow. Yeah, I want them to eat the crow from the head to the toe. Don't pluck the feathers. Don't pull the beak off. I want it to go down hard. I want to see the crow big lump in their neck while they're trying to swallow it. And I had like 7 more waiting. Once you swallow that one, I got about 7 more crows. That one's not big enough. Go get me a bigger crow, please. So let's continue.
I don't reach the same conclusion that Senator Cotton does if you're describing it as righteous.
Oh, now it's all about whether it's righteous. We all reached the same conclusion. Just a minute ago, y'all were talking about war crimes.
He said but I have more policy questions.
Oh, it's policy questions now. That's all. Policy questions to soften the tone. Not coming out. This right here is a war crime. Pete Hegseth needs to. And all of a sudden you're walking it back.
About the framing of the mission, the rules of engagement.
Yeah.
Translation, there is no war crime.
Bam! Bam! There it is. There is no war crime. But you guys got on TV with your fake networks out there pushing this crap for weeks now. Yeah. Throwing our president under the bus, or the Secretary of War under the bus. Got your media friends talking about it, only to find out what?
And because their number one priority is another Trump impeachment, they box themselves into a corner.
Oh, yes. Always.
Any American who sees the video that United States...
They timed out for a second. So she was saying they box themselves into a corner like they always do. Killer Garcia, he's the Maryland man, all these illegal immigrants, stuff like that. Anything they can do. But they hate Trump and they just get blindsided. So now let's hear about this again.
Any American who sees the video that I saw will see the United States military attacking shipwrecked sailors.
Oh, attacking shipwrecked sailors. That's all they are, y'all. That man just called them shipwrecked sailors. And any person that see that video that I saw will see the United States attacking shipwrecked sailors. Wow. People voted for these dudes. Shipwrecked sailors. Well, what I saw, and I'm sure everybody else saw it, but you're a dirty, stinking Democrat who's been saying it's treason and this right here is unlawful. Yeah, you probably saw those 2 guys climbing back in that boat for the yayo. Yeah, that's what you probably saw, but they're just shipwrecked sailors. Yeah, maybe they should dump all that yayo off in your neighborhood to one of your family members to get hooked on it. And then maybe you won't look at them as just shipwrecked sailors. You look at them as these dudes sending poison into our family. Idiot. Shipwrecked sailors. That's what we would see. No, what I saw is a strong leader and a strong military sending a strong message that y'all will not be allowed to just come to our country with drugs unabated. That's what I saw. I didn't see no shipwrecked sailors. I saw strength and resolve.
Bad guys.
Bad guys.
But attacking shipwrecked sailors.
No, but they're bad guys, but all of a sudden now, but attacking shipwrecked sailors. See, yeah, you try to slide that in. Bad guys, but they were just shipwrecked sailors. So what? When you say bad guys, what? That they cheated on their taxes? Yeah, bad guys. I once heard one time that this guy stole a bag of potato chips from the No, we're talking about drug dealers.
Now, there's a whole set of contextual items that the Admiral explained. Yes, they were carrying drugs.
And that's all.
Yes, they did. He ends with that. Unbelievable. I mean, he had to go ahead and finally tap out. Yes, they were carrying drugs. Oh, we're supposed to. You left that to the end? Yeah, you started off with shipwrecked sailors. Then this bad guys. But there's a lot of context in that. And yes, they were carrying drugs. That's why they got blown out the water.
Long ago, remember, Democrats agreed that destroying these threats was a good thing.
Oh, let's go after the drug lords where they live.
What? Is this creepy? Talking like Trump?
With an international strike force.
Wow.
There must be no safe haven.
No safe haven?
And they must know it.
Oh my. Have things changed in the Democrat Party? Yeah. Now they prefer a softer approach.
Yeah, like what?
If these boats are full of drugs and narco traffickers.
He's back. Jimmy Durant, ha-cha-cha-cha. If these boats were filled with, you hear Sylvester the cat. So let's hear about these boats with all of that narco cocaine on it.
Why not interdict them? Show to the country, show to the world the drugs and the terrorists.
Well, we know who not to elect for president. That's how you'll be handling our security, our border, keeping drugs out there. Have to pick them up and just say, hey, this guy right here is, what's your name again? Francisco. Francisco here is a sailor. He's a mostly peaceful sailor. He's just trying to make a better life by bringing yayo into our country. He's not the head yayo guy, so we don't want to be too hard on Francisco. So we want to go ahead and get him a lawyer and make sure that his rights aren't being violated. That's what he would do. Big Nose Jimmy Durant would do that.
The narco-terrorists.
And give us some hot chocolate, too. Great idea.
Foot rub. Why not, Jimmy? Huh?
Let's hire them all lawyers as well.
Yeah.
You see how Trump has them all trapped here?
Yeah.
He wants to make America great again.
And what do they
They want to make drug running safe again.
Forget the war crimes. Forget what the U.S. Army manual says. Forget what the military, the DOD manual says. So yeah, they're making up as
making it up as they go, huh? Well, it's working. It's working. So yeah, they want to make drug trafficking safe again. That means that all of those narco terrorists are pulling for the Democrats. You best believe they're all like, man, come on, Democrats. If y'all could get these dudes off our back, we will be back in business just like we were under Biden when we was bringing all of these illegal immigrants to your country. We made trillions off of y'all. Yeah. Get us back in business. Demonize Trump. Demonize Headset. Stop these dudes from blowing our boats up so we can get back in business. And then if y'all could get them out, as a bonus, we'll get back into the illegal immigration trade business too, okay? We were booming under you guys. And if we put y'all back in charge, we'll be booming again. You see? That's why they don't deserve any power. We got to beat these people in the midterms. Got to.
they go along every day. And the inconsistency of it all, again, looks very bad.
What looks bad is the egg on their faces.
Bam!
Trump's success has scrambled their brains.
Thank you, Lord. It sure has. And that egg right now is all over. I wonder how long it's going to take him to reset and come back with another one. This time, he definitely blew him up, and they were still alive. We saw him swimming, and then he sent sharks after him. So now it's Sharkgate. That's right. The word on the street, we got 4 anonymous the whistleblowers that said that we've been secretly training sharks to attack these narco terrorists, just in case they don't die on the first bombing. There it is. That's the backup plan. Train sharks to kill them. It'll be another one very soon, and probably another coup. I done lost track of all the coup attempts. I said I called this, part 2, but man, do you realize how many times these people have tried to coup our president? And it's unreal, man. We are living with traitors to our country. They do not care about the American people, our safety, our processes, our republic, our voting process. They don't care nothing about that. They're willing to rip it all to pieces and destroy as many lives as they have to just to get back in power. And we can never let them have it. Got to stop them, man. Got to stop them. Because if they pull that off, man. So it is what it is. There you have it. God bless. Thanks for kicking it with me today. Uh-oh, the dogs already. As soon as I said it, they jumping up here like, okay, what you say? God bless. I know what that means. All right, everybody down. Everybody down. No. I'm not picking anybody up. Down. Anyway, so I might be back tomorrow because I do want to touch on that whole situation with the so-called pipe bomber. Yeah, I want to talk about that. Who knows? It's depending on how I feel. They tried to make me work Saturday, y'all, because we had a little light situation. Our power went out at the job, and we lost out on some production, and they was going to try to make me work tomorrow, which is tonight, really. However, somebody took my overtime. I was like, sweet. Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, so I might be back tomorrow. And other than that, if you can or want to, please hit the like button on the way out. And if you want to, you can also, show me some love in my Cash App and my PayPal link. I'll take it all. I'll take it all. And I'm not like the Somalians. I ain't gonna ask you for $1 billion. Just maybe $1 million. That's it. I'm not greedy. Yeah. And don't forget to subscribe to my alternative channel, please. Somebody said maybe tonight, man, don't tempt me. Mess around and get some sleep. And I might be back. Plus, I'm still chopping up some of the clips from our live stream. Some of the good stuff. I'm going, oh yeah, they might want this in a short clip. So turn your notification buttons on so you can get those as well. Okay. Other than that, I'm about to get out of here. I need some nourishment in my system right now. I'm starving, man. So God bless.
This is awesome. Yeah, awesome.